Hi, are you a non-native English speaker with a YouTube channel? Or are you considering launching a YouTube channel in English, but you're not quite sure if your English is accurate or fluent enough to do so? Well, I'm here to encourage you today to do so because as a teacher, I feel that recording yourself in English and perhaps even making a public YouTube channel is one of the best ways to gain fluency and accuracy in English. Remember, if you're not quite ready to go public and present yourself online, you can always create your channel and set it to private so that you can just share it with friends or family, or even have your YouTube channel unlisted if you're not quite ready to put yourself out there. But in any case, I think it's a great idea, and if you're an English learner especially, or if you want to become more confident while speaking, then congratulations. You're heading in the right direction. Today I'd like to talk to you about the language you can use to come across as more professional and appropriate to your audience. I hope to give you a few new phrases, some tips, and hope to convince you also to think about the language that you use while filming your videos. If you're new to my channel, my name is Miranda and I'm an English teacher from the United States. My channel is dedicated to teaching English grammar and vocabulary lessons while also offering tips on how to become a more fluent and confident speaker in English. Before we dive into the phrases and expressions, I just want to mention one thing, and that is about how you prepare your spoken part of the video. Do you prefer to write out a script for your video and then maybe read it while you're recording, or do you memorize sentences word for word? If you do, I would like to encourage you to maybe change your approach. The first reason you may not want to read a script while filming is that your audience can always tell when the text is read. I promise you, no matter how many times you rehearse the text or even try to memorize the sentences word for word, your listeners will always be able to tell. There are many differences between written and spoken English. In spoken English, we use the contracted forms more often. We don't speak in complete sentences all the time. We use more question tags. There are many conversational aspects of the language that are just simply different in spoken English. So if you're speaking in a more written style, this also comes across, well, it sounds professional, that's true, but depending on the style you want to convey from your channel, it can also come across as less friendly, less conversational, and for that reason, I just want you to consider whether you want a more formal style of English in your channel or a more spoken tone. Is your channel casual? Is it more professional? Is it supposed to be fun? Is it supposed to be cool? Whatever the style is, your language, your English phrases should reflect that. So I'm going to give you a few examples today and compare the style and the appropriacy it has. And I just want you to think about that and how it relates to your specific channel. I know it's not so easy to speak freely in a foreign language for, say, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. But what I would recommend doing is to, instead of a script, to just make the bullet points. So, for example, this is mine. I do have a kind of a script where I write notes. I wrote notes on what I'm going to say in each part of my video. And then I don't read it word for word and I don't memorize it completely. I remember it, I remember the idea and the main points and maybe the key vocabulary, but I try to speak freely while I'm filming. So a better way, probably better than my paragraph form, would be to have bullet points, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, if I'm going to have 7 parts of my video. And then just for each part have 1 or 2 words, keywords, that you can use to remind yourself the topic, but try to speak freely on each of those topics and you'll sound much friendlier and much more natural. If you feel silly looking into the camera and speaking when nobody's around, I have another little trick for you. The audience, of course, is much more engaged if you look into the camera and record. So what I do to make myself feel a little bit less lonely and a little bit more comfortable is I put a photo of someone I love and care about right above my camera, right above the webcam or right below the webcam, but near the camera eye. Today I have a photo of my mom. There's my mom. And I always smile when I see my mom, so when I am filming, I don't look into, well, I look into the camera, but I'm actually looking at a photo of my mom, and that makes me feel much more comfortable and at ease. If you have any questions regarding your vocabulary and maybe some phrases that you like to use over and over in your video, you can drop me a comment and I'll respond as soon as I can. If you would like me to audit your video for content for the English, then you can also let me know where your videos are, how I can reach you and give you that feedback. I can give you a little feedback on the style of your language and some tips on some alternate phrases you could use. First, let's talk about addressing your audience. So something I hear very often is, hey guys, or hi guys, which is a very friendly and casual address that you can use. I'm a native to California, and this is a very common expression to get someone's attention. Hey guys, what do you want to do? Or hi guys, how are you doing? This is an expression that includes men and women generally in most dialects of English. I just want to point out that some people find that the term guys refers only to men and therefore is not inclusive of men and women and all genders. So just be aware of that, just so that you know of that, depending on what kind of channel you have. Another thing I'd like to point out is that you probably should think twice about using it too often. So I saw on a lot of channels I've seen people begin so many sentences with, hey guys, so guys, what do you think guys? And just try to limit reusing one expression over and over. So maybe you can think of an alternative to using guy or guys. You could say, hey everyone, or hi there. You don't have to use a term for the people, just hi there. Hey there, hi friends, hi folks. It's a little bit old-fashioned one, kind of a folksy one, folks. Everybody is fine. I just want to also mention that studies show that the audience feels more personally engaged if you refer to them, your listener, as an individual and not as a group. So it may come across more personal and friendly if you don't use a plural like hi friends or hi guys. You can say greetings. You could say welcome to my channel. You can say welcome back to my channel. Some YouTubers say welcome or welcome back to my channel. So after you've greeted your audience, you can think about introducing your video and what phrases can you use. Today we're going to talk about such and such. In today's video, we are going to do this and that. One tip I heard recently that I quite like is instead of telling your audience what you're going to do, try telling them why you're going to do it. Today I'm going to go over different phrases that new and aspiring YouTubers can use. That's fine, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Or I can tell them why I'm going to do it. What is the purpose? Today you're going to learn how you can transform your English so that you sound more professional and friendly in your YouTube videos. I think you'd agree the second one sounds much more intriguing because it talks about everything from the audience's perspective and why they should watch your video. So keep that in mind when you introduce your video. Tell your audience what they are going to accomplish from watching your video and how it benefits them. Okay, so now let's move on to asking people to subscribe to your channel. How can you do this? You've heard it before, so most people say, Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you enjoy today's video, then please don't hesitate and subscribe to my channel. That would be more formal. Please consider subscribing to my channel. Formal. Okay, a couple phrases you could use instead of just subscribe to my channel. You could say, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to click on the notification bell. Please consider subscribing to my channel. Formal. So now let's talk about transitioning from the introduction of your video into the main content. One expression that I hear quite often, especially by non-native speakers, is without further ado. So without further ado, let's go on to the main part of the video. So this is a very nice and professional expression. I just want to point out that it is very, very formal. So I wouldn't use this in spoken English, without further ado, unless I'm giving a quite formal presentation. So you could also say without further delay, which has a slightly less formal feel to it. Or you could just say in very informal spoken English, let's get started. So let's get started. Let's jump in. Let's dive in. Those are both very nice phrasal verbs that sound very conversational and informal. One other thing I'd like to mention now is actually it's an expression I've heard used in the wrong way. For example, as a teacher, I may preface my video by saying, although I'm an English teacher from the United States, I do not teach a specific dialect, and I try to convey an English that is international and can be spoken and understood everywhere. So I would begin that by saying, I would like to preface this video by saying, blah, 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 what I just said. Okay, so this word preface I want to mention because I hear this used incorrectly so often. And what people do, and it's not non-native speakers, it's actually native speakers I hear doing this. Even native speakers make mistakes. They say preference this video. So I hear them say it. So they've heard other YouTubers say it, or they've heard people say it, and they don't know the word preface perhaps, and so they just take the closest word they know, which is preference. Keep in mind, it's not preference. Preference is not a verb, right? It's a noun. So I have a preference. That means I prefer something. I have something that I prefer is a preference. But to preface a video means that you give some information before the video to inform the audience of something they may need to know. And it's very... Now let's talk about going into details. What language can you use? So if I'm talking about something at first generally, I've introduced my topic and I've mentioned the topic generally. If I want to go deeper into more details, you can elaborate. That's one word you could use. So to elaborate on this, and you can go on to use more details. In other words, is to rephrase. So you can always rephrase for your audience. It makes it very clear, especially if it's a new topic to your listeners. To put this in layperson's terms, this means when you're using jargon or specific or technical language and you want to reword it so that everyone can understand, you put it in layperson's terms. So this used to be called layman's terms. To put that another way is to say it in a different way. It's another phrase you can use when you want to rephrase something, and I encourage you to always rephrase what you say, to repeat information if there's some technical language involved or some jargon that not everyone may know. When you sum up at the end of your video, if you want to recap everything you've talked about, which is a good idea, it makes everything very clear, you can just say, so to recap, and then to list the main points of your video, you could say to sum up, and then give a summary. In summary, in conclusion, and what are some less formal ways to say you are concluding the video. So the least formal way you could say is, that's it for today. And then saying bye to your audience, you could close by saying, if you enjoyed today's video, I hope you consider giving me a thumbs up. Thumbs up is also a way to say you like the videos. And then saying goodbye to your audience and reminding them to watch you next time, you could say, I'll catch you in the next video. I'll catch you in the next video. And of course, don't forget the thank you. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. And now for a few phrases that every new and aspiring YouTuber should know. Number 1 is shout out. You give a shout out to a subscriber or another YouTuber in order to give them some attention, support, and publicity on your channel. Maybe in return for them giving a shout out to you. It's just the mention of their name and their account. A giveaway. A giveaway is when you offer some product or service as a giveaway to your audience, as a thank you, or just to be a nice person. You can offer a giveaway. A haul. A haul is a video of someone who has purchased something, a product, and they discuss their experience, their pros and cons of this product, and the cost, etc., in order to introduce it and give their experience. Sometimes this is known as unboxing, when you get something, maybe you order it online, and then you open the package and talk about the product as you unwrap it and your reaction to it. So either a haul or unboxing video. A call to action. A call to action is what you ask your subscribers to do when you ask them to do a specific task. A call to action could be to click on a certain button or to perform some kind of task like sign up for a newsletter, or even to click to receive an offer. That would be a call to action. And the last one is a collab. So a collab is just a shortened form of collaboration, and that's just when you work together with another YouTuber or a blogger or some other person in order to collaborate and pull your works together and share your subscribers. So that ends it for my video too. As I said, I would really appreciate it if you have any phrases you're not sure about, or if you need some synonyms or alternative ideas for phrases that you need to use in your videos, just drop them in the comments and I'll be happy to reply to you. Okay? Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.